the time. Since she moved on and she found him, I've been aching, my heart is rusted. So I'm on my own shit. Been the same dog barking up the same tree. I need her out of my life, I need her out of my head. Painting a picture that I'm better off dead. I hope he's treating her wrong, but hope she's been treated right. I love and I hate her at the same time. I'll be waiting, I'll be waiting all day, all night. I'll be waiting for her all the time. Through the pouring rain or the sunshine, I'll be waiting for her all the time. Ooh, na 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 na. When I'm with you all day, all night, I'll be waiting for her all the time. Things that got the best of me, none worse than when you said it's over. My heart's forever broken, and that's why I'll be never sober. Every little thing that I said, I play it all back in my head. And every little thing that went wrong, I'd give it all to go back again. Every little thing that I said, I play it all back in my head. And every little thing that went wrong, I'd give it all to go back again. Hey! All day, all night, I'll be waiting for her all the time. Through the pouring rain or the sunshine, I'll be waiting for her all the time. Ooh, na 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 na. When I'm with you all day, all night, I'll be waiting for her all the time. Things that got the best of me, none worse than when you said it's over. My heart's forever broken, and that's why I'll be waiting for her all the time. If I need her.
What happened?
Hi, what's going on, everybody? We are here. It takes David returning to drag me out to do another show that isn't an interview. Hi, David. How are you? Oh, you muted. You are muted, kind
Yeah,
sir.
I forgot I had to mute for that intro. But I'm doing pretty well. Slightly tired, but I'm doing pretty well.
It is nice to see your shiny face. We missed you this past Wednesday. Talked to Kevin Dalton. That was a good time.
Mhm.
Really just good dude. Former California, candidate for board of supervisors, which I found out is like our county mayors, our county executives over here in New York. And now he's enjoying Idaho. So go and give that a listen because he was awesome. He was fun to talk to. But you're here, David. It's always nice to have you back.
Yes.
We appreciate everyone around who is watching today. Whether you're watching on Rumble or Kick, see, look, I decided to give them some love first this time. Rumble or Kick, YouTube, Facebook, X. Hello to all. We appreciate you all. If you are going back and listening to this in podcast form, whether it's on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, hello to you as well. And make sure that you give us a 5-star rating. And the most important thing for us is to spread this word of mouth because we are going to have some fun and you are going to join us. You are here. Dave, it's been a while since I've done a kind of the rundown, and I'm going to do it before we get going
Okay.
because I'm kind of
Go
pissed.
ahead.
Kind of pissed.
Go ahead.
Because we still don't have an Epstein client list. A real one. We have nonsense, right? So that still needs to happen. And I let out a theory with Kevin Dalton. I'm going to relay it again today. Dave, tell me what you think of this.
Okay.
So they gave us this nonsense Epstein client list crap, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they gave us these 80,000 pages of the JFK files. And what have we really learned? We learned some things, right? Like we learned that some of the stuff with the CIA potentially being involved, but overall, it seems like, Oswald's the shooter, right? It seems like he is it. That is what we got out of it. All the conspiracies don't seem to be going very far. I am starting to believe that they gave us the JFK files in full like this, and it's kind of a semi-nothing burger to get people kind of going, maybe we don't care about the Epstein files, and to try and make us not give a shit since we just got this giant dump and all that type of stuff.
I don't know about that. I think they just fumbled it and they don't know how to put it out, to be quite honest with you, or they're being pressured to not put it out in some manner. I that's the way I kind of view it. I don't know if it's necessarily being like, oh, just look at this and don't pay attention to it, because I mean, just that's just not how it's working, obviously.
No, And
So I don't think that was their thought at all.
I want to give just semi kudos to Pam Bondi. She's been involved with some very good things lately in terms of, Cash Patel and her getting, making sure they're making the Tesla terrorists are being arrested. They captured and sent back the one of the top three members of Tren del Agua. And so she's doing some good stuff. I'm not saying Pam Bondi isn't, but her legacy right now kind of rests on those Epstein files, right? Because it was Tulsi Gabbard that was in charge of the JFK files. That kind of makes you think that there might not be much confidence there.
Mhm.
But we'll see. And also, whatchamacallit, we can't let off Anna Paulina Luna. She cannot be let off the hook here.
She just apparently went on NBC. I think it was no, she was on where was she? She was on some show and she said NBC is holding a video that apparently has Oswald not in the building during the shooting. So I don't know what the fuck's going on there.
She says a lot of shit. Okay. One thing about her, she said that the Epstein files are going to be this and that. And then also, I'm not going to let Alina Habel off the hook. Who, congratulations to her. She just became the USDA, the U.S. District Federal District Attorney in New Jersey. So kudos, congrats. But she's another one that was like, when you see what we've seen in Epstein file, it's bombshell, and then nothing came out. So all these people need to be held account. Anna Paulina Luna is one that led that charge, and the Congress, we're going to make sure it's fucking nonsense. So I'm holding them all account. We need the Epstein client list. A lot of people, your older people, are like, oh, the JFK files are what we care about. I don't care about a bunch of dead people. They're all dead. They're all dead. I care about the people that are currently living and raped women who are still currently living, and they were young girls at the time. That's what I care about. I don't know about you, David. That's what I care about.
Yeah, no, but there is an argument for the JFK files because it's also provable that the government's been lying to you for a long time. In fact, it's a very symbolic thing if if it is the CIA, especially if it was in fact the CIA in some manner, or our government itself in some manner helping someone out, or deciding to be pretty lax on security. That is actually a very genuine shaking thing if that were to come out to be true.
I guess here is my question to that. Do you really need this to know that our government is constantly lying to us?
A lot of
And
people would.
I mean,
A lot of people would.
I guess, and I guess the normies would, right? The
A lot of people
non-perpetually
would.
online, like a lot of us.
110%. A lot of people would.
Yeah, and
Can't
here's the
act
thing,
like
though.
that's not true.
But if there's 80, through the 80,000 pages, though, are we really going to ever get that chance? Right? Like, people are going to sift through things and they're going to be like, oh, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I want to say, what's up from a young G's perspective?
Thank
Cheers,
you.
lads. What's going on,
Thank you.
G? How are you? Thank you for tuning in here. So let me finish up the rest of my rundown.
Let's move on
Continue
through.
to help people. Helene and Milton, we can't forget about those victims down there. They have not recovered. The ones that made it through the winter, awesome. And I know the Trump administration has done significantly more for them. FEMA now, I think at the time of like within the first month, they had covered 80% of like requests and things like that, but they're still hurting down there. If you can help them, the fire victims, things like that, donate to your favorite charity that helps these types of things. I still haven't heard anything coming up about FEMA overlooking Trump supporters in North Carolina. I feel like that's about to get completely and totally swept under the rug. So that, and I also realized, Dave, you know what I realized? I'm also AOL Dave because I didn't change it when I came in.
You're silly. I did see something about FEMA
Did you?
a bit ago. I don't know if it was necessarily pertaining to that, but it was about FEMA just not being good. I think I did see something about that, but I can't necessarily remember. Honestly, things are moving so quickly. There's so many stories that come out, and some things are conflated more than others that it's difficult to remember exactly what you read. And to be quite honest, I've been pretty much checked out of politics a bit because I've been a lot on YouTube drama sphere and entertainment and stuff like that. And we will get to it. Yeah, Young G's perspective. It's down the line in the show. We kind of put it later.
G's saying I'm here for the debacle and who they're going to cast as Zelda. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that
I
one
saw
later.
people throwing Hunter Schafer in there. No, we're not having a man play Zelda. No, if Nintendo does that, I'm not going to go see that. I will just say I'm not going to go see
It's
that.
going to be Halle Berry.
It won't be Halle Berry. I do think, Nintendo, the way they are, they're actually going to treat this They're going to treat this. They're going to take this very seriously.
Is Zelda fully Nintendo, or is there a subsidiary to also Zelda? Is there someone else that is like? Is it
It's
because
not Pokemon. It's not like
it's
Pokemon.
not? I
Zelda
don't
is
know if they
Nintendo,
are the
dude.
full. See, I
No,
didn't know
Zelda's
exactly.
Nintendo.
I
It's
didn't know.
not Pokemon.
Okay,
It's
here's
not-
the thing: if it's 100% Nintendo, then they're going to work with the creator, and it's going to be as accurate as possible.
yeah, like it's a trilogy. I mean, we could jump into this whenever because I'm excited. But
We'll jump in. Maybe we'll push it
yeah,
up in the nerdy stuff.
yeah.
But let me finish out real quick. Last thing with the preamble. We still can't let up after the Trump victory. Things are going well, but the leftists are pushing back. And they're not only pushing back out front, they're not only doing Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals type of shit, which if you haven't read Rules for Radicals yet, read it, because everything that's going on now with the Tesla dealerships, the firebombing, this is all in there, okay? If you want to know what's going on, go to Rules for Radicals. Also go to beautifultrouble.org. You'll see all this shit. So those are the two main places to go to look up what's going on, but also run for stuff, guys. Like I said, I am running for my town board here. You guys should all be sitting there doing things, run for stuff, help somebody run for things, do all that type of stuff, because that's important that we don't let up, because the midterms are right around the freaking corner. And if right now, and I hear pundits talking, Dave, you haven't been involved as much, but there are pundits saying, well, it looks like it's shaping up really well for the midterms and we might see an unprecedented gain. And it's like, motherfucker, stop it. Stop it. Stop talking that way. Put your nose down, pretend like we're losing, and get to work. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Like, get like that. That's politics, everyone. Put your nose down, pretend like we're losing, work harder. Work harder than we did to get Trump elected in this midterm. So that's all that. Dave, let's jump into the fun stuff.
Yes, yes. We have one. I don't think it's going to be very long because mainly
You're not
there's not
interested.
much. Well, there's not much to say, right?
We're not going to watch this whole clip. I'll tell you when
Yeah.
to stop.
Yeah. Do you know when he starts, or does it start?
It starts. It's right away.
Okay.
I'm a firm believer that President Trump will run and win again in 2028. So I've already endorsed President Trump.
Is there any more that we need after that? Because I know that's what you want to hear. Does he have anything more
About
to say
that they're working on things, so we can stop
Okay.
right there real quick.
Yeah.
So
I just didn't know because maybe he has reasons or whatever like that.
he just said that they're working on things illegal, and Cuomo kind of says like, "Hey, you're not talking about a revolution here. You're talking about trying to find something loophole-ish."
Also,
And
hold up,
Bannon does say it.
real quick. This is in 720p. Is this actually 720p? For some reason it feels like it's less, or
I feel
maybe
like-
my eyes are so used to 1080.
I feel like
at this
we're
point.
in 720p, but I don't know if the actual video playback is like
The video
their video.
isn't the maybe theirs isn't.
Maybe it's
theirs
like
isn't.
the coming through from there, like whatever is on their
It's
end.
really messing my
Because
head right now.
we're
I
720p.
wonder
We look that way, I believe.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, this is less. It looks like 480.
Yeah.
It really does.
Anyway, continue.
But so we can hop off this real quick. We can come back. So
Yeah.
Dave, I want to ask you, would you support Trump if he runs for a third term?
No.
It's just that's it. I'm the same way.
No, I just wouldn't because even though a lot of rules have been thrown out of the window, but I agree with not having a president for a third term, especially because I do feel like we're going to have other people up there that are just as qualified for the job in order to get shit done. And I just don't think it would be wise to run him for a third term in any general sense anyway.
I don't think it's good. I'm concerned about his age in a lot of ways because he will be old at
Well,
that
yeah,
point. Like,
you should be concerned
and-
about his age right now.
right now. But also, I'm with you. I don't want anyone for a third term.
Yeah.
And I know like a lot of like Republicans don't want to do things because they're like, whoa, if we set the precedent, it'll be used against us. But
Precedent's already been thrown
it's
out the
been set.
window.
FDR did it already, and they had to make a law after that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the 8 years is perfect, right? And you cannot be someone who wants term limits in Congress, but then is going to be cool with the third term for Trump. Like, it doesn't work that way. I'm not for it. I would actually I would turn in a lot of ways. If he made this announcement while he was still president, you would find me off the Trump train, because that to me is like, you're now proving everything the left has said about you. Everything that they're like, you don't give a shit about the Constitution, blah, blah, blah. And it would just all go that way. And it would be the cause of a massive blue wave. That announcement alone would swing everything. Everything. Even if he won the third term, Congress would definitely go full blue. He wouldn't be able to get anything done. Because what more would they need?
Yeah, possibly. I think we're in very weird times, so making predictions on things is a little tough. Even with the most outlandish shit that you think, oh, I'm certain it would go this way, you never know. Like I said, we're
Yeah.
both against the idea, but that doesn't mean that it won't just work out, especially depending on how this term actually comes to pass, right?
I still think there's enough conservatives, like real conservatives, that would look at this and go, no. You know what I mean? I think that you'll have your MAGA group that's all like Rah Rah Siskumba. But I still think there's a good chunk of conservatives that they would lose. And I just think we'd all sit out. Or there will be another candidate we'd vote for.
I'm just saying if things are going well enough, people tend to go with where things are going, especially if, like I said, if things go well, and let's say it's an actual thing that they're deciding. I don't think so, because I don't even think Bannon's back in his fucking like team. He's not back into team, right? Trump kicked him out like a while ago,
He did, but
unless he
I
got himself
know.
back in somehow.
I
But
mean, I don't think he's fully ever been out. I think he wasn't invited back to like the
he's
White
been
House.
out because Trump thinks he looks like a fucking slob and shit like that. So Trump kicked him out. He's been
I'm,
out for a
I'm
while.
pretty sure Junior and stuff are still friends with him. So it's
Probably.
like, because I'm pretty sure Junior's gone on War Room and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
obviously Trump's friendly with War Room because
Yeah.
you have like Natalie Winters and stuff is
Mhm.
constantly at the White House. So I don't think I think if Trump calls him, he's not picking up the phone, right? I mean,
Well, yeah, no, Bannon will pick up the phone.
If Bannon calls Trump, Trump's not going to ignore him. He's going to pick
Depends.
up the phone.
Depends on who else is on the line.
I mean, well, obviously you're going to pick
Yeah.
up a world
Yeah.
leader over
Yeah.
Bannon, right? But I don't think he's fully out. I think
Mhm.
maybe presenting wise, I think he doesn't want him standing next to him.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of like, you're not going to kick out your son from 60 years ago. We know Barron's time traveling.
That's
You know,
true. That's true.
it's time traveling Trump over there. So, but overall, I wouldn't support it. And
Yeah.
I encourage anyone that watches this that is a Trump supporter, like Dave and I, we are 3-time Trump voters, fully on the train. I'm enjoying 99% of what he's doing right now. I would heavily not support it, and I would come out against it and be railing against it, and I would find myself in a shitty position because he'd probably still be doing good things while
Mhm.
running, right? Like it would be a really weird situation. But I hope that it's Bannon just trying to piss people off. I really do.
Yeah, he likes to do that. Anyway, speaking of no, not really
Mhm.
pissing people off, but
Yeah.
Daily Wire is dying. It's actually going very badly for them. Jeremy Boring just left not too long ago. I forgot to put this up here, but here you go. Yeah, Daily Wire is dying. They reportedly hire a bankruptcy attorney, and they've laid off 20% of their staff. Boring's out. I believe they're someone else. Here we go. Spiraled layoffs. Alyssa, the vice president of public relations, is now also out. So this is actually pretty big
It's
for
massive. It's massive.
media sphere. I know people put it as conservative media sphere. This is big for the media sphere in general
Yes.
because you can say whatever you want as it being big conservative media, right? But just like conservative uses the corporate media, mainstream media, however you want to put it, they use their clips for shit. They also use clips from the conservative media to make their
Mhm.
points on those other shows. So
Yep.
when you're losing that kind of cyclical motion here in some manner, it's a big fall of something that's more or less a titan in the conservative media industry.
It's the biggest non-cable news entity in conservative media,
Yeah.
by a lot. It's a $1 billion company, and it is. I didn't expect it. I thought that Jeremy Boring was maybe just stepping down to, go do other things, and he said he was
No,
staying on as a creative mind,
he was
right?
leaving before he knew
Yeah.
he knew it was coming, so he's like, I'm dipping.
The thing
I'm
with
dipping.
this is, and it's different than if like a cable news network goes down, right? Because the
Mhm.
cable news personalities don't know what to do. We've seen that. They can't go do podcasts. The difference here is if this even breaks up, that doesn't mean it's the end of Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro,
Yeah.
Andrew Klavan. Like they're all going to go on and do their own thing.
Look at
I
Brett
could
Cooper.
look at Brett Cooper and I can see like, Andrew Klavan is going to the boys, okay? Because he's friends with all those guys. And
Yeah.
here's the thing. Ben Shapiro is going to go do his own thing. And I know he's friendly with Tim Cass and stuff like that, which is hilarious that Ian Carroll came out and said a few weeks ago that Tim Cass was sent to potentially asked to buy up Daily Wire, which kind of seems true now, right? It says Daily Wire is fine.
Could have
But
possibly been, right?
but I don't think Tim Pool has the money to buy, right? Like he's not a
I
billionaire.
don't think so.
No, he doesn't. He may be buying a percentage or a stake in
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
but again, you know, I don't think Tim Pool's a moron. He just got done cutting his whole group, right?
Yeah.
Timcast was slashed immensely
Cass
recently.
having a rough. The quarterings broke. That I mean, that's just me randomly throwing that up. But
Apparently, he
the
said he was broke.
broke.
I don't believe that the quarter rings broke. I'm
Things
not
are
gonna
rough.
lie.
Things are rough.
Things are rough. And well, the thing is, I think it was always gonna get back to the mean, right? Because once again, they got a bump during COVID as well. Podcasting got a bump
Yes.
during COVID. No one
Yep.
was able to do anything. So they sat inside and they discovered more podcasts. You kind of echo chambered out.
And
Now that people are back, like it's things are changing.
that and also Daily Wire, they want to do entertainment.
Mhm.
And you know, kudos for trying to do entertainment, but they try to do conservative entertainment instead of just general entertainment that everyone could possibly like in some manner.
They
And it
swung
was,
and missed.
and
a
most
lot.
of it was shit.
Yeah.
Most I don't even I will say I don't think I've seen a thing from them that I like.
Two
Actually,
good
no,
things.
the
The
Matt
two good
Walsh
documentaries. Matt
Yeah,
Walsh documentaries. Everything else has been a flop.
exactly. So what the fuck do you expect when you're going to be sinking money into things that don't bring you any money? The same thing we criticize Disney for, basically, in
Mhm.
other Hollywood movies and shit like
The
that.
message. They were
Yeah.
just sending the conservative message.
Yeah, and they just didn't make anything good. I
No.
think it was Daily Wire that came out with like the new norm. I don't know if you saw
The
that
new norm was
animated.
terrible.
Was that
And then
Daily
there was
Wire?
it was
Because
Daily Wire. And
that was so
everyone thought it
bad.
was a parody.
That was so
And it was so
bad.
fucking bad. And I remember like it was everyone down to like Glenn Beck, who was friends with all those guys, was like, yeah, this is awful, guys. What are we
So
doing here?
bad.
And then they had, was it Mr. Burnham? Was their most recent one, their cartoon that they were doing,
I
and
don't know.
they stopped doing the Snow White with Brett Cooper because she left,
Yes.
and that was supposed to be the answer.
Yep.
The comedy that they did about the basketball players went nowhere.
Lady Ballers.
Lady
yeah.
Ballers went nowhere. The only successful things were What is a Woman and Am I Racist?
Yes. Yeah.
Those were really successful too. They were great. But
Yeah.
Matt Walsh doesn't need the Daily Wire to do that. Probably not. Like I couldn't imagine. Like he could probably go out and do documentaries on his own and be just fine.
No, he would need it. I don't think he's good enough to be creative enough and going and doing
he
the
can
things.
hire
Yes,
those
but
people, though.
I'm saying he needs to hire people.
Yeah,
But
of course.
yeah.
Of course. But it's like they did a lot of swings and misses, and I agree with you. Like, unlike, and here's the thing, completely contrast that, right? Angel Studios. Angel Studios makes things that are definitely a little more conservative leaning, but they don't make it with a fully conservative tilt. They make movies that they mean to be entertaining, right? Like Sound of Silence wasn't a conservative movie. It was about something that more conservatives seem to care about, which is weird, but it was a general movie.
Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom. Yeah, sorry.
I just realized you said Sound of Silence. I was like, what
Great
the fuck?
song though.
Yeah.
But Sound of Freedom, and it was just meant to be a movie, right? Cabrini was about a religious figure, but it was just meant to be a movie.
Mhm.
And we're seeing these other things like Chosen is in Angel Studios, right? Is Chosen Angel Studios?
I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Look
But
up.
there's, you know, but that's done very well. And then there's the Story of David that has just come out. I think that one might be Angel. But it's like they have the anime that's been pretty successful about like an angel and stuff like that.
I don't think it is.
So they're just making general stuff, and that's what we have been clamoring about forever. And when we had Blaine on from Criticalist, that's what we gave him credit for. It's not a conservative thing. It is just a thing that, hey, if you don't like Rotten Tomatoes, jump on here.
I do have Gabriel and the Guardians, which
That's the anime.
Yeah, Rippaverse is actually heading up.
Joining in.
Yes.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's a general thing about Gabriel saving things in an anime fashion, but it's not like overly like, dude, watch this. And they also had their kids thing from Daily Wire that was subscription only. And the thing is, it's not going to work, right? It's not going to work because you don't have enough people. If they're already paying for Daily Wire Plus, and now they're getting the kids thing, but there's alternatives that are free because they're already paying for all this other stuff. They're not going to force their kids to watch your stuff. I mean, it ended up being a bad business model.
It ended up being bound to fail. When they stopped just doing the news and they stopped just doing their little shows where they talk about stuff and they're just talking heads. And when they actually walked into entertainment, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. And they decided to just blow money. That's all that really happened there. They decided to blow money. And that might not be all of it, but at least from the outside looking in, you can see that failure right there. Other things may be going down, especially after what happened with Candace Owens and Brett Cooper and all that stuff. The place itself didn't look entirely great, no matter what you think of Candace Owens or Brett Cooper. The place itself didn't look great after all of that happening. So now they find themselves here, and we'll see what goes from
You know,
here.
George Alexopoulos is smiling about this too because he's been on Matt Walsh's shit about being terrible towards, just anime and nerds
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he ended up being right. And it comes down to, okay, you have all this money and you're about to spend it. Instead of staying internal, right? Because I'm sorry, y'all a bunch of conservatives and you are the stodgy that don't understand a lot, right? Like, really, like that's what it comes down to. Instead of just staying internal, you want to make lady ballers? Okay, call up Vince Vaughn, who's been blackballed. He's a comedy genius, right? Let him come in. Pay if you're going to waste money, go pay him to try and help you make something really good and get a conservative comedian that's been out of work to come back to work, right? That's how you do that type of thing. Or if you want to make a funny comedy, Ryan Long's out there.
Yeah.
Go do something with him and make a sketch comedy. Like there are ways to be successful, and I just don't think they took the right routes to
Yeah.
get there. Like if you're going to blow money, at least spend a little more and get people that are already successful in these areas.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
like Blaze's Normal World with Dave Landau and Quarterback Garrett. Two people who
Fantastic.
have done skits, done sketch.
Yes.
Dave Landau's done stand up. So like at least
And
know
consistently
comedy.
does. Yeah.
Exactly. Knows comedy at some level, right? So yeah, but Daily
It's a
Wire is on
ripple
a
effect. Huge.
Daily Wire is on a fall. We'll see how far it is. I mean, obviously they hired bankruptcy attorneys. Who knows what's going to come out of this? Whether someone will come in and save them, they just get eaten up somewhere, or they just dissolve, which I doubt. But still, we'll see what comes out of it.
I mean, I feel like we're going to see a lot. I think everyone's going to be fired except for the core. Honestly, if we're like looking at it, it's going to be Shapiro, Clavin, Knowles, and Walsh just doing things. And I think they're just going to go back to bare bones and they're going to just do their stuff.
Possibly.
Because what is the Daily Wire in Shapiro? Yeah, I said Shapiro. It's those guys.
Yeah.
And Jeremy's going to be in there as well. It's that core group is the Wire. Everyone else is just, and I don't think Jordan Peterson's going to stay there. I think Peterson's going to go. He's been clashing as well with them. So
would there be a point in keeping it at that point? That's the thing. Would there be a reason to really keep it when you could just end up being independent and probably making more for yourself without actually having to, pitch some into the business?
I don't know. I feel like those guys are loyal to each other and they're going to do whatever they want. Like, theyey'll probably make a decision together. I think they'll make a decision together, and whether it's the Daily Wire just as a network again, like it kind of used to be, it was just a network and these guys work together, and they might just go back in that fashion where it's the Daily Wire network and here's your personalities type of thing again, which would be successful because people like those guys. Obviously they do. They have a huge following. So and I'm curious if they get involved with Rumble more. Because right now I feel like that hurt them a lot. This Rumble lineup.
Rumble fucking sucks.
But Rumble's been doing awesome in the live streaming podcast area. They've put on their lineup of
some of that manner, right?
But Viva Fry's been doing well. Even the Quartering's been doing, like, they've been doing good in terms of their little hour slots.
But their UI needs to really Rumble in and of itself needs to really improve in order for them to actually break through.
I really don't understand why they didn't just take the original YouTube.
I don't know if they could. I don't know if they could
bite off some of it though, because there's certain things that YouTube probably can't claim for their own, right? Video has been there. Vimeo does a version of it. And there's certain parts of the UI that are just necessary for running that.
I don't know the whole inside thing with Rumble.
Obviously not. We don't.
Yeah, exactly. But I just know that it's not great. Like, it is better than it used to be, because I remember I used to use it a while ago and I use it now, and it's definitely better, but it's not great.
And as a creator, it's terrible. I'm not going to lie. Like,
as a creator, it's awful.
Like, I like that we're going live to them right now, and going live is just fine. It's become seamless. It works great with Restream. But when I wasn't live to them and having to upload a video, it takes a year and a day to upload a video. It is slow. It is cumbersome. You can't do multiple at once. It is, and it asks you a shit ton of questions. Like, it is not a fun process if it doesn't make you want to use it as a creator.
But we can go to something that a lot of people are using to create, and that's AI. And a big debate sparked with AI because of the Studio Ghibli AI meme going around, where people are taking AI and changing everything into a Studio Ghibli kind of drawing or animation. In fact, so many people are doing it. The White House did it. They did it about...
I feel like this is more of a Family Guy thing, though. It looks less like Ghibli and more like Family Guy to me.
It's the coloring.
I
it's
get
definitely Ghibli.
Yeah.
But they did it based off this arrest of this fentanyl dealer right here. They said that she cried in custody, and that's why they Ghiblified her crying in custody, getting arrested.
That reminds me of the big chick that goes on whatever all the time. I think they look like they might be cousins. that goes on the whatever podcast.
She's actually this one's smaller.
Yep,
and I'm pretty sure it's a guy that goes on whatever.
they're
But
pretty close. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah. But this in itself sparked a controversy because a bunch of people were like, "Well, you don't have to be cruel." And to be quite honest, when I saw it without this, I was just like, I don't care. like
I just laughed and moved along.
exactly. And I mean, you could just say it's immature. Sure, I'm fine with that. Like, I think that's actually kind of.
Do you
a
know who our
reasonable-
president is?
Yeah, but I can say it's a reasonable label to put on. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's immature. But when it's a genuine fentanyl dealer that they're making fun of, like at that point, I'm just like, yeah, based, fuck you. Like,
Yeah.
like this shit
Oh, yeah.
happened. But
Oh yeah.
might not be the wisest move if you're trying to bring in every single moderate, right? I think Sargon put in a good argument on Tim Cask. I actually did watch that episode where he's on it. And he made the argument that
Yes, they did, G. They
yeah,
really
they went
did.
the 100%.
Giblify
This
it.
is real.
This is 100%. This is from the White House account, G.
Yes, yeah, this is 100% real. But he made a good argument where he's saying that he thinks the Trump administration right now, like this, is acting like a brother, where you're kind of you're rubbing their face in it. When if you want to bring everyone, like not everyone together, but you want to show that you have a eye for the future and you're leading, you might want to act more like a father. And I don't think that's a bad argument at all. But also, and as Mexican, well, yes, it is.
That is 100%. The Mexican Morgan. Yes, it is.
Honestly, the Ghibli version
is more flattering.
Very flattering. Very flattering.
So here's my thing.
Big ups to Ghibli.
And I understand where Trump's coming from in their group. Their policies and their effectiveness, and when they start to make success through it, is going to be what brings voters to come back, right? Because when you have more money in your pocket, when you can afford eggs, when fentanyl's off the street, when the border isn't being flooded, all these things, once all that happens, I feel like for them, they're not giving a shit about any of this because no one's going to remember that they giblified a photo of a fucking fentanyl dealer.
That's true. That's true. Especially if you're not on the internet all the time, right?
No, this is for the perpetually on the internet that cares about this only.
Exactly, but I just think it's a good broad argument, though. I think that is a good broad argument. But overall, coming to this, we've been on the internet a long time. I just don't give a fuck about it. Like, I think it's funny, and I move on.
I think, and the thing is, too, it's like this is one of those things where if you like Trump, you're gonna laugh at this because it's a meme. It's based. It's him fucking with them. Mm-hmm. If you have TDS, you're gonna flip out because this is mean. This is inhumane. If you're gonna deport them, just deport them. It's already mean enough, and that's how you're gonna take it. But this is a fentanyl dealer who can get fucked, right? Like this person is an absolute piece of shit that is killing people.
It wasn't just some family who have been illegal for a long time or whatever, and they meme them. Even though I would still say they need to go back, but that's my opinion. It's not everyone's. But they didn't do that.
They need to reclassify fentanyl dealership and fentanyl as like attempted murder, not just drug dealing, because fentanyl's different than anything else. Like heroin, you get addicted, you eventually probably die. Like a lot of them do, right?
The heroin, you die pretty quickly on heroin.
No, but the thing is, but you have heroin addicts that are on it for years. Like you can. Fentanyl kills you if you get a little bit too much of it. Like it just it's done. So it's like there's a major difference. Fentanyl is a more extreme. Listen, you have heroin heads that have survived. You have heroin addicts that have survived. There's very few people that take legitimate fentanyl and survive. Most of them die. So it's
either way, based picture, but that's just a smaller argument inside the bigger argument.
Do we have any more Ghibli? And here's the thing that I saw: everyone Ghiblifying themselves.
Yes,
like that became a big thing.
Yes.
Did you see? I forget who did it. Someone Ghiblified all like the biggest Trump moments, the pictures of Trump. And like one of him putting his fist up.
I saw some of them. Here you go. Here's one of them.
What's crazy though is, I'm not going to lie, a lot of them remind me of, and I don't know if Seth MacFarlane just ripped Family Guy art and made it like a worse version of Ghibli, because some of this looks like Family Guy. Like some of it's Family Guy-esque to me.
A little bit. I can kind of see it, but you watch Ghibli films and it's like,
I will say this. If you're going to bring the weeb in, this is the best way to do it, because Studio Ghibli is such a bridge, because Studio Ghibli is one of those anime styles that people watch it and don't even realize they're watching anime because it's so good. Like,
well, it's beautiful. Ghibli animation is beautiful. They do everything they possibly can in a movie to make it look incredible.
I still need to watch Boy and the Blue Heron. I haven't watched that yet, and it looks so freaking good.
I don't think it's Blue Heron. I think it's just the boy and the heron.
Oh, but I thought it was a Blue Heron.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Well, whatever. Either way, but I need to watch it because the thing is, it's all gorgeous. Now, not all of it's for kids. Some of it's scary as shit, but it's amazing.
But overall, the big discussion has become about AI art and the fact that everyone is using AI art to giblify everything
Mm-hmm.
and what that means, and artists going against it and all that type of stuff. And generally, I very much understand the artist's perspective, and I kind of
100%.
agree with the artist's perspective for the most part, because I feel like there is a spiritual element to art that matters to me. I know it doesn't matter to everyone,
But there is.
but I believe there's a spiritual element to art. And then when a human puts that on the paper or wherever they put it, and you look at it, you get something different from that person that did it that you don't just get from AI.
Yes.
But I also think that sometimes not sometimes, a lot of times with the way artists spurg out about it, they push people away as well. And I think that's what's happening with a lot of these conversations whenever AI art is being pushed in a major way, especially like this, where everyone's jumping on it, giblifying themselves and that type of stuff, where people are just like, dude, I'm just trying to have fun. Why
Yeah.
the fuck are you yelling at me? That is really becoming a theme here. And like I said, I'm on the artist's side, but you are pushing people away if you're telling them that they're evil, that they're killing the planet, that they're
Which is
killing artists and stuff
insane.
like that. So, like, you can't.
Artists were already starving before this. Y'all are still going to stay starving.
You
Okay.
can't
Like,
just
very
do
few of
that.
you make money doing your craft. I'm
It-
sorry.
but you can't just do that. But like I said, I'm very much for the argument on artist
Agreed.
side, but you cannot do what a lot of artists have done with this type of stuff, because it's just hurting them more. That's all that's happening.
The thing is what I see with this, AI is still just imitating human things, right? Because
Well, that's all
yes,
it's
they're
going to.
taking pictures and they're taking pictures and turning them into already a art style that's already around, correct? So AI currently is not able to be original. And I don't know if it's ever going to able to be original. So human artists will always have a leg up on AI, because I don't believe AI has the capability, because with humans, right, we think, we have imaginations, we have creativity. AI can only mimic right now. Now, does this change with AGI, right? Where AGI is able to learn and able to kind of function in a way our brains do, right? Because when we get creative, it's us combining things that we have used in our lives, things that we have seen, to turn it into something different. When I'm writing my books and making a story, it's influenced off of so many other things I have seen and taken in. So right now, no, because AI can only imitate, right? Like, it's taking these moments and turning them into the Ghibli style. So it's not an original. I understand that artists are concerned because this is incredibly accurate, right? This is very much Ghibli style.
But it's not only that. They're concerned because, when it comes to the casual person that doesn't necessarily care that much about art, but they just care about doing a thing or getting something quickly, AI does that. You
Mhm.
put in the prompt, or you just give it the picture, or you do whatever, and you say,
Yeah.
hey, make it in this style.
Yep.
It's like 5 minutes,
Mhm.
not even. And
Yeah,
you
not
already
less.
get it right there.
Yep.
And it's immediate. When you could just do that for free, or you can commission an artist to actually make something, and you have to pay the person to do it. A lot of people aren't going to do that. A lot of people have never even thought of doing that. It never crossed their fucking mind in any
No.
sense in any day.
But was it really a loss if they didn't do it already, though? Like, honestly, like, if they were already not in the camp of even going on Fiverr and paying a
But
freaking
it
guy from
pushes,
Istanbul $5 to do it.
but it pushes people away from ever having a chance to do it. That's
So
the thing. It
I
completely
agree.
takes them out of market of doing that.
Yes, and I agree, and I see their argument, but
Yeah.
at the same time, the people that we're going to pay to get art commissioned anyway, from the few artists that actually make money doing this, are probably still going to pay to actually get works of art done. They're not just going to go right to AI, because there is something to be said about having, like, right now, like, I would pay George Alexopoulos to give me a great fucking picture and have it back here, because George does things very different than others do with
That
his
would be
4
very
panels,
nice.
right? That was great with Biden. But so there is something, even if an AI can imitate what George does, it still isn't a G Prime 85, right?
Yeah.
And there's something to having those pieces of art from those individuals as well. So
Mhm.
those who are interested to begin with to have this type of stuff.
Yep, I knew I needed to pause it at some point.
Yeah, good job, Dave. You just took us off the
I
fucking
was
YouTube.
paying attention to your argument. Now we're good.
But
We're good. We're
yeah,
good.
it is what it is. But the bottom line is, and that's my thing. I think artists need to relax.
I think it's a completely understandable worry.
I-
But
Yes and no. I think it's artists being artists.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
no,
battle over
100%.
everything.
100% is a part of it. But I also do think it's a completely understandable worry. But when you take the worry and you spurg out about it, that's when you push people away even more than they would have been, right?
Yeah.
So it just comes to a point where you just need to keep doing your thing. And, like you just brought up George Alexopoulos, and he's very correct. And, if the right wants to win culture and they're so worried about it, and why the
Let's
fuck aren't they
go.
putting money into it?
Exactly.
That type of stuff. But, and that's another thing, though. Why would you need to put money into it when AI can go ahead and do it for you? It's
Yes.
It's
It's
like I
just you
said, it's
saw
a very understandable worry, and I completely get it. I just think sometimes the shouting can calm down
It's
because
annoying.
it's not helping you. It's
It's
not helping
annoying.
you.
It's annoying. But again, with all the things that I see, it's still only imitation at this point. The concern becomes legitimate when I tell them, make me a Studio Ghibli movie that Miyazaki would make, but make it original and something that he never thought of, but make it in that fashion. And it gives me a 90-minute functional, coherent Studio Ghibli movie in the same exact way that Miyazaki would do it. If that happens, then be concerned, right? Right now, this is find moments, find videos that are already done and turn them into X, Y, and Z. So, because even Suno has the music, right?
Yeah.
Great background music. Like background music is amazing. It's probably going to put background artists out of money, which is a lot of them, right? A
Mhm.
lot of artists just create music to be for phone wait, like dial tone, right? And shit like that, like waiting.
Yeah.
But you ask it to do lyrics, it sounds retarded 95% of the time. Okay. It really does. So we're not there yet. I understand the concern. I do. And listen, voicing the concern is not a bad thing. You need to get it out there now, right?
Mhm.
But like you said, don't be a leftist. Don't go firebomb a Tesla over this. Don't fucking scream. Don't scream at the sky like the developers from friggin' last year. Like you said, Dave, grind. If you're good at it, keep being good at it
Yeah, well, it's not
and
even
work your
just
ass off. That's
yeah,
it. That's all you could do. It's all
yeah.
you can do.
Yeah, it's not even just grind though. It's just like at times you may need to be more open to doing certain things that you might not do, and that's not to say use AI art, right? That's to say just maybe do something for someone that you wouldn't have done in the first place with your art, right? I don't know. But there's sometimes maybe you just need to open up options to get more people interested in shit.
Yeah, 100%.
I
But
just
it's
think there's
definitely
many
it's
different
something.
ways. Yeah.
It is something.
Either way.
100% something to keep monitoring and see if it gets better.
Yeah. Either way, we're gonna move on from this to
Yeah.
something very big. Something that I'm interested in your take on what you think is going to happen here. Legend of Zelda. This is from Kristen Nova from this article right here. Legend of Zelda will be signed for 3 films planned over 6 years. And it's going to follow.
Obviously, follow Link.
Yes. But live action, Legend of Zelda.
How the fuck are they going to portray Ganondorf? He's a
Ganondorf's not an issue. Ganon is an issue. Ganon in all his forms is an issue. It depends depending on what storyline you're following on, because there's so many ways they could go with this. And I
like Krista's question down there. Do you think Link will speak? Link kind of has to speak.
Well, no, that's a genuinely great question. I hope he doesn't. I hope he barely does. I hope it's mostly hot. Like
they gotta get Kristen Stewart from Snow White and the Huntsman, where she says like 3 lines.
Jesus, no. but that's the thing. It's because you're gonna have a lot of people that want it to stay really close to whatever
he's gonna speak. He's gonna speak a lot. He's going to speak. Okay. And here's the issue.
It'll hurt everything for me.
Here's the issue with not having him speak, though. He's on his own a ton in his adventures. You're gonna have to add some other characters. Like Zelda's not gonna be in most of it, and she shouldn't be. Zelda's gonna be somewhere captured, right? And Link's gonna have to go save her 99% of the time. You can't have a main character on his own just screaming "Hiya" when there's not much else to do. Yeah, no, you can't. No, you can't. Not if you're bringing it to kids. This is gonna be marketed to kids, not me and you. I'm not even guys.
He has many other creatures and people he interacts with that you can tell the story without having him speak very much at all.
I don't know if they have the ability to do that
at all. Nintendo better fucking have the ability to do it because they're the ones that want to do it.
How much did Mario speak in the games?
That's very different though. Mario is very
didn't-
different.
But Mario didn't speak much in the games. You
Mario-
really don't have Mario making fucking speeches.
Yeah.
And he's wahoo like that. Like honestly, you really got that. And we turned that into Chris Pratt having dialogue with Peach.
But Mario also didn't have a story that they could come and just make a big movie out of. They didn't have that.
Agreed.
Zelda has many games where they could make a full feature-length movie out of the story of. They do. It'd be very difficult, but they could fucking do it. And Link can go and interact with these characters and not have to speak very much. That's the thing. Mario is very different in that
They
aspect.
could do it. And here's the thing. Could they do it? Do I trust them to do it? No. Even though it's Nintendo and they're
Yeah.
really good with their properties, I could see them sitting there and walking around a marketing team and saying exactly what I said. We cannot have a guy walking around for an hour and a half not to say anything.
Yeah.
Barely talk. It won't work. We're not in silent film time anymore. Charlie Chaplin's not around anymore, y'all. We got to do this.
But just like G saying, I think it'd be a bold move for the industry to try a character who speaks less or not at all. And it is. And
Outside of Sundance Film Festival,
Hold up.
what bold do you get?
hold up. Nintendo is one of the boldest of
Video
what they
game-wise.
try to do with their things.
Video games.
They're very protective, but they're very bold with what they try. Yeah, and video games, but you can if they're actually going to try to go into movies, they might be just as fucking ballsy.
Here's the
is-
thing. Casting
yeah.
is everything for this.
Yes.
Like G said, who they're going to cast as Zelda. Casting is everything for this because, like we're seeing Harry Potter fuck up left and right with their casting.
Oh, the TV series is so
The
fucked,
TV
dude.
series, Zelda's casting is going to be massive because if you cast the right people, then you could be fine. Like honestly, one of the people I thought could have been Zelda, Link. He's probably too old now, but the one that was Peter Malark in Hunger Games, I think Josh Hutcherson.
Yeah.
You put hair on him, he would have been, and he, even maybe now he may be able to still play Link because he has that boyish look.
He's not slender enough.
He could skin out.
He could skin out. He could skin out, but
You could just skin out.
just his build.
But you know what though? It'd be believable in
And
a
his head's
live
kinda
action
big.
version. It could be believable. And maybe Link has a little bit because he is fairly athletic. His character is built small, but to
But he's
make him a
athletic.
little bit more muscular so he can do his agility and moves, be a little more believable than in a video game if he's actually bopping around. So I think Josh Hutcherson's wouldn't be bad because he has that Nord look to him that you want to make him kind of Zelda-ish because Zelda's a Nord. If we're really looking at it, he's like a Nordish elf. Well, Nord elf because he looks like a Nordish elf. He doesn't look like a regular bitch ass elf. He's a Nordish elf. But but I could see him being a good one. There's a few people. They'll probably cast Timothy Chalamet because Timothy Chalamet is everywhere, or Pedro Pascal. They'll just make him Pedro Pascal.
I would hate. I would hate.
Pedro Pascal,
Honest-
Mark Ruffalo as Ganondorf. Like,
And
let's just run the whole fucking gamut.
And the
baby.
thing is, though, if they were to go with the move of not having him speak very much, you don't need to get a big name.
No, you get
just
a known for that.
You just get someone that looks like Link and does a good job with their facial expression.
They don't need to have a big name for any of these characters.
That's also very true.
Because the stars aren't making this. The stars are already there. They were in a game forever.
Yep.
Okay. G saying over here, but it could pay off big time. More movies could go that way and adopt that style. Why not? G, I agree with you, and I would love it. But I just have no faith in Hollywood. As much as I like Nintendo, I have no faith in Hollywood. Period.
Yeah, and well, that's another thing that comes into this, right? It's live action.
Very different.
This is like I don't know. I would prefer
Detective
it to be an
Pikachu.
animated.
They did really well with though, because I was very curious how they were going to handle Pokemon, and they brought Pokemon to life incredibly well.
So, in a way, right? So the thing is that with Detective Pikachu comes straight from a game that has a narrative style, a specific narrative style. While Legend of Zelda has very big stories, they're not strict narratives, right? They're very out there, and you're going around, and obviously you're going through the story, but especially with the timeline of Zelda, it's all fucked up. So depending on what they're going with, it could go in many different directions. And to be quite honest, I would have preferred it to stick with an animation.
Should make Rob Eggers a director. I think that would be an awesome director for it.
He would be a very interesting director for it.
I think he would do well.
He would be a very interesting. He would. I trust Eggers more than like anyone else. He's my favorite director right now.
So here's the thing. I think one of the 3 movies needs to be Link's Adventure. Because to me, that is such a gateway to introducing him. Now, do you not make that the first one? Do you kind of prequel that and kind of bring that back and kind of Star Wars it? Because to me, Link's Adventure does everything you needed to do to introduce who Link is, why he is what he is. He comes off like it's
It really
It's-
depends on how they want to do things. I don't. Do you know the Zelda timeline at all?
I
How
have
it's
I have a good concept of it. It's the
because it
games don't
branches
matter.
off.
The
It
games don't matter.
branches
Like
off.
it's
Yeah,
one of
I
those.
think
Yeah, it's
Skyward Sword is the technically first.
yeah. Skyward Sword. It preed.
Predates everything.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's a goddamn mess. It's a goddamn mess, and I'm very interested to see what they're going to go with. Like, I think it was Nova that's using this picture, even though it might be from the article itself. I'm not sure. But right here, Breath of the Wild Link in Zelda, or that era. I don't know if this is Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild. But either way, this is their version of Link and Zelda. Are they going to do a Breath of the Wild
Well,
kind
here's
of
a
way of
question,
doing?
though.
Are they going to?
Do you follow the games? Like, do you
have to.
have elements of the games
You
in
have to.
there, but
You have
create
to
your own
follow. You
stories?
have to follow one of the games. You
But-
have to follow one of the games.
But that also leads you up to much more criticism. If they could sit there and say this is taking place in Hyrule and we are going to give you all the elements of a Zelda game and a Zelda adventure in an original fashion where it's not reintroducing anything. It's going to be the characters you love, the characters you know, but it might be different and that might eliminate because you're going to get a fuck ton of criticism if you try to bring these games to life. Because like you
110%,
said,
you're going to get a lot of criticism.
but if
But
you make it more original and there isn't necessarily a game to fall back on, as long as it feels like Zelda and it feels like a legitimate adventure that Link could go through, I think that's the best route to go. Do an original thing.
so I will agree that it is the best route to go to not get absolutely destroyed if you're basing it off a story, right?
Yeah.
A specific game story. But for me, there's just so much to utilize from the games
Yeah.
that would work as a
you have
narrative
Majora's
if you just
Mask, you have the
sharpen them down,
Ocarina,
right?
you have so much you can
The
bring
Twilight
in.
Prince, like you have
Twilight
so
Prince,
many
yes.
things that you could do. And I don't know. I want to see one of the games actually come to life. Like I love the way Majora's Mask really puts that tension in there of the fucking moon falling the whole time. It's one of the weirdest
So
ventures into gaming that they did. And
I-
I love that idea. And I maybe then it's just me being hopeful more or less, but like I said, maybe too much high hopes for Nintendo. Maybe too much high hopes for how bold they are and what they want to do. But I want to see them take that step and be like, yeah, no, fuck you. We're gonna do things the way we want to do, and we're gonna make it great based off our IP, based off knowing what we want to do with it.
you can't jump in on something like that right away. They're going to have to introduce this character because it's not for us. This is not introducing for me and you. This is to try and get this character into the rooms of kids that are going to buy the Switch too. Okay? This is what it's for. So if you're going to introduce Link and Zelda and the whole dynamic, Majora's Mask isn't the way to do it.
Well, no,
Ocarina of
Majora's
Time is
Mask
not
is
the way to
well,
do
Majora's
it.
Mask is
Twilight
like Young
Princess
G
isn't the way
saying
to do it, right? Like,
Ocarina would be the best adopted.
yes, it would be in terms of putting it to screen. That's number 2. That's 2 or 3 if you want to do that.
Well,
right?
no,
But it's not one.
but even with those, like Majora's Mask is completely different because that's an offshoot, right? Kind of, basically an offshoot. It's what happens if things went wrong, kind of. But Ocarina and like honestly, most Zelda games, while you know what Zelda and Link are, every story is different. Every
100%.
story is like, and you do learn about this Link this time, this Tunic kid, this one this time, and stuff like that.
So quickly from G saying, yes, Al, I think the jump off intro movie is the best to go at first. It is a mess, Dave. The story is all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, it compares to Kingdom Hearts in terms of how fucking everything is. Like, honestly, Kingdom Hearts might be the worst, but Zelda's not much better. Like, honestly, if anyone wants to go have fun that doesn't know, go on the Zelda wiki because their Wikipedia is actually not terrible in terms of their plot.
Mhm.
And then try and read all the games in order and try and figure out the fuck's happening. It's watching Evangelion and trying to understand.
It's a branch storyline.
And that's the problem.
Depends on how things. I can't remember which game it is. Depends
So
on how
this is why you need to go original with it. This is why I think you need to go original, and because they're going to be pressured to also bring Sheik in too soon. Okay, because they're going to think that they're going to need to do that. Even Nintendo's going to, they made Princess Peach into a much more girl boss and bitch than she ever was in the Mario movie. So they're going to do that. So in order to make Sheik not the helpless chick that she is in 99% of the movies, in the games, I mean, Zelda, yeah. They're going to make Zelda Sheik probably within the first movie.
I would hope not, to be completely honest
Of
with
course,
you.
they're going to. They're going to because they're going to
And
want girls to like it as well.
and another question is that as a trilogy, is the whole entire trilogy going to be saving Zelda, or is it going to be done? Is he going to save her within the first, but Ganondorf's not done and stuff like that? You could do so much shit with a trilogy. The fact that they announced it as a trilogy is huge. Within 6 years, played over
Which is
6 years.
why I think it's an original. Which is why I think they're going to introduce you to
Very
Link and
possible.
Zelda, the dynamic. And again, I think they're going to bring in elements of the games that we love. I think they're going to bring in kind of possibly um OTAing it, right? Like they would in the animes where you include
Yeah,
shit that's elements of it, but
yeah,
it's not necessarily canon to the games, but you're bringing them in, right? So I feel like we're going to get elements of Majora's Mask. We're going to get
mhm,
elements of Breath of the Wild. And
mhm,
it might streamline what we know as a timeline in these 3 movies,
yeah.
which to me would be fucking fantastic. If they
No,
could figure out a way to creatively do that, it would be the best.
it would be really cool. And here, G saying maybe Zelda is even better for a movie, more a TV series.
100% it is.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of stories that are long and that tell a lot is better for a TV
Zelda's
series.
better for a cartoon, an animated TV series, more than an in person, just because of how
Yeah.
fantastical it is
Yeah.
and how I don't trust CGI right now, to be quite honest, whether it's Nintendo or not. Even though, again, they did a great job with Pokemon, bringing all those Pokemon to life, making them look like Pokemon and not fucking freaks, right? They
Mhm.
looked the way they were supposed to, they acted the way they were supposed to, but this one's going to be tough because there's going to be a ton of CGI also as well with all the monsters and things like that.
It would
And
be awesome if they did a lot of practical.
but
Imagine
it's
them doing a lot of
so
practical for this. That'd be awesome.
But the thing is, it's also going to be tough because Zelda, on its face, is a dungeon crawler. Link, the games are dungeon crawlers.
Mhm.
So how do you take the dungeon crawling and just streamline it into a movie, right? Like it's very tough. This is a really tough undertaking to do. That is
Yep.
better in a TV animated series because you could treat each dungeon as different arcs and things like that. They
Mhm.
don't have the option here, and even in a live action TV series, no one's going to fucking wait for you to crawl through a dungeon. In animated series, they're gonna be cool with watching. We do it with anime all the time where they're just going through the arcs and they're walking through labyrinths and shit like that. There's so much of a different demand when it's live action that this is why I feel like we're gonna get an original. We're gonna
Yeah.
get everything we know and feel because Nintendo's gonna make it feel just like with Super Mario. They
Mhm.
made it feel like Mario without it being Mario, right?
Mhm.
It wasn't a Mario story. It wasn't him going to fucking save the Princess Peach. It was a different element. I think that's what we're gonna get here.
Yeah. I do. I would. I'm very interested because like, there's just so many directions they can go.
I would
Like
love if they cast a whole bunch of no names or Sydney Sweeney as Zelda. Those are the only 2 options.
they can't be. Zelda is not made like that.
She is now, bitches.
but
It's gonna be
but
Zendaya. We know it.
like it'd be incredibly interesting if.
It's gonna be fucking Tom Holland and Zendaya.
Oh man, that'd be rough.
If they
That would
make
be
Tom
rough.
Holland Link and Zendaya and then fucking just bring
That'd
in
be
Pedro
rough,
Pascal as
man.
Ganondorf,
That would
like
be
just
really
ruin
rough.
everything.
I wouldn't see it. I couldn't bring myself to see it.
So
But
G brings this up kind of like Nolan with the Odyssey. It's a huge
yes,
undertaking lore wise, and we
yes,
talked about this a few shows
and
ago.
that
G,
cast hurt.
that cast
Cast
sucks.
hurts. That
It
cast
sucks.
hurts.
It's not a good cast.
Cast hurts.
And it's tough to take the epic tale that has been used as an underlying story for all of the epics that we have seen and make it interesting. And to do the Odyssey justice is going to be incredibly hard because, again, how much of the Iliad do you bring in to explain why Odysseus is returning home, right?
Mhm.
They're going to have to explain where the fuck Odysseus is coming from. Why is he traveling back? Why are people
Not
in
always
his
though.
but why are people trying to steal his fucking wife that are supposed to be loyal to him? Like,
yeah.
they have to explain all this. So how
Not
much are they bringing it in?
You don't have to bring a huge explanation, right? That's the thing. A lot of people will be perfectly fine with just very little explanation, as long as it's
Maybe the first
understandable
10 minutes or
and it
something
works.
like
Not
that.
even.
5
It
minutes.
could be a line.
That's
Just a straight up line that's impactful in some sort of way. You don't need a ton of explanation as long as it's understandable in the undertaking of what the movie is. That's all you really
Isn't
need.
Achilles isn't someone cast as Achilles though? So it means they're
Mm,
going to do a little bit of the Iliad with the Trojan
yeah, I
War. If
think
someone's a
someone will.
cast as Achilles
I think
because
so.
you see Achilles during the war and then he
Mhm,
leaves post war.
mhm.
Achilles dies. Odysseus survives. He goes home.
Yeah. Either way, though, I don't know. This is a whole a whole thing with Nintendo. I'm interested because if it comes to someone's that's going to try to do something right, at least in their way, Nintendo's going to try to do it right. They have a lot of fucking problems. They're still hiring people to go after others just for copyright and shit like that. They're
They
crazy.
lost to Power World.
They're
Haha.
absolutely
For some of
crazy.
it, at least.
Yeah. But when it comes to their IPs, they usually try to make things pretty fucking damn good.
I mean, is Miyamoto involved? That's my big question. Is Miyamoto Shigeru involved? If Miyamoto's involved, because he's Zelda's daddy, right? If he's involved, then we could see it staying in a very good direction. Because Nintendo's good with that. Nintendo's good at keeping the creators involved
Mhm.
and things like that. So if he's involved, then I feel like we're going to be in good shape. Because then that also is the vision, right? That is also the vision of what a Zelda story should be, what Link should be doing.
Mhm.
Even if it becomes an original at that point, I then trust it because we're getting a story. It's like me and you with Toriyama, Dave, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Toriyama did some wonky shit, but it was a Toriyama thing. So it still felt like Dragon Ball every time it was out of left field.
Mhm.
If the creator's involved, then it's Oda with One Piece, when the live
Yep.
action One Piece.
Yep.
They took a shit ton of liberties in those 8 episodes, but it was Oda's direction that allowed those liberties. So it still felt like a genuine One Piece story.
Yes.
So this is where I'm excited for this to see if he's involved. I'm here with it, even if it's 3 original stories. So
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to be talking about this a whole bunch
hell
in the
yeah, as I
future, so
get
we
more
don't
info.
need to keep harping on it. But I am
It's fun
genuinely
to.
interested. I'm generally kind of hyped, to be quite honest with you, because I just feel like if they have the balls to say, yeah, we're doing a trilogy, then they feel pretty good about the direction that they're going.
I'm not hyped about anything coming to the movie theaters
That's
until it
fair.
comes out.
That's very fair. That's very fair. Now we're going to go from a company that really does care about their IPs, maybe a little bit too much, but they do, to a company that fucking hates their IPs, and that is Warner Brothers.
They
Now,
suck balls.
I saw this movie.
And I want to see it.
It's great. This is a great Looney Tunes movie. Looney Tunes: The Day the Earth Blew Up, with Porky Pig and Daffy Duck.
And this announcement was almost 2 weeks ago, too,
Yeah.
just for everyone to know.
Yeah, and I kept this because I wanted to talk about this damn thing. But fantastic movie. Felt like an original Looney Tunes movie. Daffy is absolutely goddamn insane the whole entire time. Porky is Porky, and it just works, man. It brought you back to a charmful time. It's something you could show to kids. It's something that's great.
Here's the problem, Dave. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody cares. You want to know why? Because, like you said, Warner Brothers has done a fucking terrible job keeping Looney Tunes relevant.
Yep.
They had everything by the balls in the 90s.
Mhm.
Who didn't have Taz wearing something?
Yep.
Right? And
We're in a Toon Squad shirt.
wearing a Toon Squad, but not even that, just wearing whatever team is your favorite. Taz was
Yeah.
everywhere, okay? And the whole entire, like, them all looking thugged out. They
Yeah.
all look like they look like John Cena
stupid.
stole from
So
John Cena stole
stupid.
from Looney Tunes, okay? When he came out with his look, he looked like Bugs.
It's
But
so stupid.
they've done an awful job keeping relevant. What have they done before this? Space Jam, which was awful with LeBron James. And nobody
Yeah, Space
cared
Jam too.
because no kids knew who Bugs was, who Daffy was, who Porky was. No one cared because they weren't keeping them relevant.
Mhm.
Before that, it was Looney Tunes back in action. And that was maybe a decade before that. They release things so sparingly. They haven't tried to make a new TV show. And if they have, it wasn't marketed. It sucked. And so, I mean,
Yeah, and-
WB's done a terrible job with their best product.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though. This was barely marketed, if it was really at
I
all.
had no idea it existed.
It's already been pulled from theaters because this is from the 17th, and they're saying they're being pulled starting this Thursday. So it's already been pulled from theaters.
Crazy.
Hopefully, we'll see it at your home soon. But it's just, I don't know. It's a huge issue to me because they're also going to do this. They'll destroy the single-story building where Looney Tunes was once housed. The goal is to create space for the multiple HBO shows shooting on the lot. And it kills me, man. It kills me because this is still a very good product for people who like cartoons, for kids to fall in love with cartoons. It's been a great way of just storytelling or just fun. Looney Tunes just had a lot of fun. And it just seems like, it's going by the wayside. We got the one last movie from them, but now tunes are basically gone.
This is a time where we could see Looney Tunes be successful, though, because I kind of understood I was happy they didn't bring it back within the last 5-6 years because it wouldn't have been the Looney Tunes, right? Because Looney Tunes pushed the envelope. They were funny as fuck because they were wildly inappropriate, honestly. Even as a kid, I knew some of the shit I was watching was like, holy shit, they actually animated that. Now, where there's time of a little normalcy coming back, where you can kind of push the envelope again, right? Where you can fuck with things.
Mhm.
This is the perfect time for Looney Tunes to come back. They would do so well if they made their normal slapstick, making fun of everything type of stuff.
Mhm.
Bring Elmer Fudd back with a gun. Bring Yosemite Sam back with guns. They took guns away from them for a little bit.
Yeah.
Bring them all back. Bring Foghorn Leghorn back, being a piece of shit. Like
I tell
I
you
want
what.
all of it, right? And this will be the perfect time to bring it back. Speedy Gonzalez would do amazing right now because all those tropes that people would be like, oh, it's so racist. Now people would sit there in that little group that's like Speedy Gonzalez is racist. Everyone would be like, shut the fuck up. He's hilarious, right?
Yeah.
Pepe Le Pew, bring that back. Like this would be the time to bring it all back. And
Mhm.
instead, they're backpedaling and they're going, man, so you know something? Honestly, if I'm somebody who's smart and has a deep pocket, I'm calling up Warner Brothers and saying, how much do you want for the Looney Tunes rights?
I don't think they'd ever give it up. I
There
don't
we
think
go.
they'd ever give it up, but they
I'd
are
want
just going to
that.
put it to the wayside.
I'd want Animaniacs. I'd want Hysteria. Give me all three of those, and
Mhm.
I will bring all of them back. Because you're telling me Animaniacs went into a fucking killing right now again? Like, just the concept of three weird cattish motherfuckers that lived in the Warner Brothers vault and they kept them in there because they were insane and they got out and wreaked havoc on everyone and taught every kid of our generation the fucking capitals of the United States better than any school could. Okay. And they talked about fingering Prince and it was hilarious. But it's like there was Animaniacs was great. Hysteria was hilarious. It brought history to kids in a funny way and it was memorable.
Now,
That can all be brought back today. Somebody needs to go into Warner Brothers, either kick them in the balls, tell them to get fucking in gear, or try and buy it off of them. Give them $3 billion and say, go away. I'll
now
take it because I'll make more.
I will say one thing, and that is that a lot of cartoons nowadays have fallen off and just viewership. Kids don't generally watch cartoons on TV that much anymore, unless it's very small kid shows.
Bluey.
Yeah, exactly. Unless it's very small kid shows, they're not watching a whole, we had the Cartoon Network lineup, we had Nickelodeon lineup. There was a lineup of shows that you knew was coming on, and you knew whether or not you wanted to skip one or whether you wanted to see one. That's not what kids do nowadays. They're like, oh, I got to see this because it's coming on the TV soon. That's not what they do nowadays. They have it on their fingertips, and a lot of them are not generally interested in a lot of these shows that could be coming out from like Looney
A lot
Tunes
of
and
them are garbage.
Animaniacs.
Though. That's why they're garbage. But a lot of them aren't funny. A lot of them aren't good. They're garbage. Because if
But
you show kids Merry Melodies again and
yeah,
Looney Tunes, they will watch the fuck out of them, the old school ones, and they will laugh and they will like them. My
Well, and
daughters just watched the Aristocats for the first time,
yeah,
and they loved it.
mhm.
There's a
Well, and
charm to it.
yeah, 100%. There's a charm to it, and do I trust Warner Brothers to be able to catch that again? Nah, not really. They did with this movie. Whoever did this movie did a fantastic
It's
job.
Michael Rucco, and I'm gonna find out if Michael Rucco wants to come on the show.
Yeah, but
We
whoever
want to
did
have
this,
him on.
yeah, whoever fantastic job with this movie.
He
They
was
really,
the one in the last post that said,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
hey, and
yeah,
he's like, we did a great job.
yeah.
I want Michael. I'm going to try and figure out if we can get Michael Rucco on the show because he's an animator and he's fucking talented.
Yes. But, honestly, a lot of the cartoons that are out nowadays are for millennials that haven't grown up. To be completely and totally honest with you, that's what they're for. That's their viewership. It's not for kids that actually want to watch these and, sit at home and watch and enjoy that time, a shared thing that kids have. No, that's not what they're watching. A lot of kids are either watching streaming, people streaming, depending on what their parents have them watch or to let them watch. They watch streaming or they watch, Bluey or some other random thing that most of the time they're not going to be these types of cartoons that we grew up on.
I mean, and it's weird too because like these cartoons were maybe like 10 minutes at a time.
Mhm.
So it's like almost perfect for this generation
Yep.
because they were short little clips
Mhm.
and they were broken up. Like you would get 3 episodes of Looney Tunes or 2 episodes of Looney Tunes
Mhm.
in that 25-minute, half an hour time frame with commercials, right?
Yep.
So it's almost perfect for this generation to have those quick clips. And it's just the thing is too, the things that they're making, they don't make like this. They're trash. Like Bluey's similar in a lot of ways. Bluey does a lot of slapstick shit, and a lot of the things that like I don't know, like we've as people have steered our kids towards educational shit too much too, instead of just a little bit of brainless fun when it comes to TV, and that's what this was. That's
Yeah.
what the Flintstones, the Jetsons, the original Mickey Mouse, like they were all mindless.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. One of my favorite shows is Mickey had a new line where it was more Looney Tunes as slapstick.
Mm-hmm.
And when my daughter was too young to be watching it, we were watching it, and then she got a little violent watching it. We're like, you can't watch it anymore. But I enjoyed it because it reminded me so much of this style.
Yeah.
Where like it was just Mickey and Donald were just fucking each other up the whole time. Goofy was being a dumbass. Like it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I don't know. I just feel like if they go back to making things like obviously make them more now, and like they harken back to like fairly recentish history, like right, like
it's really interesting because I almost feel like we lost, not completely lost, but we lost the medium of cartoons, and now it's more of animation. If you understand what I'm getting
100%.
Because like Looney Tunes and all these other types of things that we mentioned in the past, those I refer to those as cartoons. I don't really refer to those as animation. They're cartoons to me.
There's a sense of realism, too much realism to a lot of the things that
in
are
a way.
In a way,
but it's just no whimsy. There's no real fun to it. It's like I want to tell you this big overarching story as a kid's show. It's like, really, I don't need that. Like some of them did well with it, but really, I don't need that. I just need these short, bite-sized, fun, dumb things where I know what the characters are. I know Bugs is gonna fuck with Daffy and get Elmer to shoot him. Like that's
so here's the thing, though. Go back and show if you have kids right now. I challenge you, go back and show any of your kids. I think it's on Max. They have the Looney Tunes and Merry Melody still. If you have Max, go back and turn on for your kids. I remember I was like 6, 7, 8, maybe watching these. Even, you know, I watched these up until I was probably like 12, right? Because they were awesome. Go back and show your kids of those age. Now, again, take your current day blinders off and stop clutching your fucking pearls at some of the jokes because they're going to be inappropriate by today's standards, right? Your kid will be mesmerized. Your kid will laugh. Your kid will love Roadrunner and Coyote. Your kid would love fucking Speedy Gonzales, Pepe Le Pew. All like your kids will love all these shit that they see. They'll love Rabbit Season, Duck Season, Rabbit Season, Duck Season, like all of the classic things. They will be mesmerized and they will watch and they will enjoy. And that's why I believe that if they bring this back, modernize it, but keep it in the same vein, it would be successful overnight. Make 26 episodes, release them in a bunch like they do now, but kids would eat those up 100%.
Possibly, but honestly, I just see that
it's sad.
Looney Tunes is probably going to go to the wayside.
Fuck, that means I'll never get Freakazoid again. Damn it.
Yeah, but I think, we had one final hurrah with the most recent movie that came out, which I highly recommend watching if you like Looney Tunes at all. It's a very good movie. Very, very fun. Very just harkens back to what it used to be.
Which is great. We need more.
Yes. But we're going to move on to failure. The failure
deserves it more. No one deserves it more than these people.
Yes, and I think Ubisoft actually trying to pass this off as a win, which is funny. But Hypnotic here saying Ubisoft has officially sold its video game franchises and formed a new subsidiary giving Tencent 25%. Well, that just seems wrong. Ownership and royalties. Ubisoft did so well with Assassin's Creed Shadows, they were still forced to sell. This new subsidiary is already worth more than Ubisoft itself with the massive investment from Tencent. This new subsidiary will own all the intellectual properties of the video game IPs Ubisoft formerly owned. And great work. At least you can ratio people on X. And yeah, honestly, who better to happen to than Ubisoft? Ubisoft has been putting out clunkers, been one of the ways that activists has gotten into the video game industry. I mean, it got in many ways, but Ubisoft is harboring a lot of them. So good. I'm happy this happened because they deserve it, because they don't want to put out good games.
Didn't they have 8,000 employees or something? Insane.
I can't remember. Wasn't that the French number or something like that?
But I think it might be overall Ubisoft.
Okay.
Which that's a massive number, and that's a reason why they have 2 hours of credits, and it costs $250 fucking million to make a video game, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care If you
do.
make money off of a $250 million video game, there's no reason a video game should cost $250 million. It's as
But
much as a fucking major movie.
and I also do want to say this. I'm saying good that Ubisoft is dying because of what they are, but not good that Tencent is eating into the industry, because I don't want Tencent anywhere near the industry like this.
Well, they're the
Especially-
CCP.
Exactly. Especially if they're going to buy out companies that, or at least own some of companies that were once.
You know what though?
More
Partially
Western.
yes, but if they make good games, maybe we need fucking more communism in our games. Okay,
I don't know about
maybe
that.
we need more
I don't know
communist
about that.
control of our games. Because you know
So
what's
we're-
funny? The
already had
communists
communism in
aren't
there.
the communists aren't putting the communist gobbledygook. They're just making fucking games. We're just giving them money to bomb us, but whatever.
Yeah, it's a
Make
little rough.
games.
It's a little rough. But Kirsha adds on to Hypnotic's post here. Hey,
Yes.
remember that Tencent director whose job is to assess companies for acquisition they tried playing off as a wholesome Chungus small YouTuber at the Game Awards?
I like the use of Chungus. Thank you, Kirsha.
It's almost like there might be some sort of vested interest in making sure these companies tank their value.
Now click
And-
on this little clown real quick, because I want people to remember this is a guy that at the Game Awards they brought him on stage and
A
he
small boy.
they were giving back to
Mhm.
these small creators, and
Mhm.
it was his job to go and make sure that we are a fund that gave back, when in reality this motherfucker is
Mhm.
just an infiltrator. Okay.
Yes.
It's just an infiltrator coming in to, again, he probably came in to make sure they fucking tanked.
Yeah, and that's one of the things though, is that it's not just Tencent that's doing this, but yeah, no, places like Tencent, or even you could just say China in and of itself,
Yeah.
are also feeding into these companies, and just feeding honestly what they want to do in the first place with the as activists, and saying like, no, that's a good idea, it'll get you money. Basically just saying, no, you're good, man. Just keep releasing it. The audience will come around.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
they keep doing it.
The message they dedicated, and the Prince of Persia, the Lost Crown. What a who remembers that game is a thing? Like,
Yeah. I
like-
don't remember. I want to say I saw a little bit of this.
when was the last time a Prince of Persia game went completely under the rug? That's one of the
Yeah.
biggest titles in video game history.
Yeah.
It's one of
Yeah.
the most legendary video game series of all time.
And I'm pretty sure Sparks of Hope wasn't as good as the first Mario and Rabbids game.
Sparks
At
of
least
Hope
that's
sucked.
That's what I heard.
It wasn't
Uh,
good.
Yeah. So it's rough, man. It's rough out here. But honestly, I can't feel sympathetic towards Ubisoft at all.
No.
They did it to themselves, even if China did try to invest and make sure they did that, even if other people tried to invest and make sure that they did it, they still did it to themselves. They still allowed it to happen, and they still put out garbage.
You can't read the room. Like, that's the thing. They couldn't read the room, and they were relying on their main titles, which have their fanboys that will just keep on coming. Like Assassin's Creed is gonna do decent because they have a good base of people that would just buy anything Assassin's Creed, right? They have
Yes.
a few million that are gonna just buy Assassin's Creed, and that's not a small number of buyers. That is a big number of buyers. Now, are they going to make money off of $250 million just in development? No, because how many more millions are they putting into promotion? And just remember, they had to push back twice. So that means
Yep.
now you're promoting twice again, 2 more times. And they gave refunds to a whole bunch of people that pre-ordered the first time.
They
So-
did. I forgot about that.
So are they, even if you make any money off of this, is it really a win? No, because you were never going to make a lot of money off of a $250 million game anyway. So I can't see them breaking even, because maybe they're probably not doing $100 million in promotion like they do with movies, but you're probably probably doing like $50 million in promotion, right? So you're looking at a $300 million number,
Mhm.
and you need to push how many fucking games to get that
Yeah.
out?
Yeah,
It's
and
$60 a pop,
Exactly. It's $70.
$70 a pop.
$70.
Holy
But-
shit.
But yeah, and the thing is they just haven't, along with the message being shoved in every single game, they just haven't put out good games. And then, like every
They
other
need to move 5 million units to break even at 300, or hold on, let me go back. 300 million. I put 350. They need to move about 4.3 million units.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which,
And-
can they do it with Assassin's Creed? Yes.
Ooh, I don't know about this
It'll
one.
be close. It'll
But-
be close.
But like I said, along with them pushing the message in their games and putting out garbage games, they then decide to just go out and argue with people who would buy their games. So it's the cocktail of failure that a lot of companies want to just drink upon, and it's happened to them now to the point where they're selling out to Tencent because they have to. And I mean, good riddance. to be quite honest, to Ubisoft. I wish the best for Rayman because that's still probably my favorite IP of theirs, and I hope we get a good Rayman game soon. But I just can't find any sympathy for what's happening to Ubisoft. Though I really hope companies buck up and the CCP doesn't decide to own everything gaming.
You ready, Dave?
Yeah.
Right now, playing on Steam with Outlaws is 916 players.
Star Wars Outlaws?
916.
Oh my god! I forgot that was a game.
And it's
That's
Ubisoft.
wild.
It's one of their biggest games.
Yes, yes. Well, it wasn't a big game, but it was a.
But it was
game
supposed to be one of their
big
big releases. It was a Star Wars game. Right now, yeah, I think 916 in game right now.
I do wonder. I might have to look it up.
Pathetic.
But yeah, no,
That's a major AAA game that you should still have like 10,000 people playing.
They had a quadruple A game called Skull and Bones
That failed terribly.
that did worse than almost anything else that they put out recently.
What's sad is the last good passable Assassin's Creed game was Black Flag. Okay? I don't give a fuck what anyone says. People are like, Valhalla was okay. No, it wasn't.
No, not
Black Flag.
Valhalla. Which one?
Not
is it that
Origins.
people like?
Origins blue.
Which one? I can't remember which one of it. I haven't played an Assassin's Creed in a long time. I was cool off that gameplay.
But also,
it
here's
was
the
fun
thing.
for the first time, but I didn't
Black
care anymore.
Flag was fun until it just became an Assassin's Creed game again. Like, it was fine in the ship. It was fun fucking around in the ship. But then it just became another Assassin's Creed game. I can only jump off of a building so many fucking times. It's not fun anymore. I can only jump and spike somebody in the neck so many more times. It stopped being fun in the second game. It stopped being fun in the first game, to be quite honest. Like, the side missions never vary. And this is always my knock on Spider-Man and shit like that too. They try to add the side missions to pad. They become the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
It becomes boring quickly, these games.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like I said, I was good off the gameplay loop, honestly, after the first game in Assassin's Creed. I don't think I finished another Assassin's Creed game after that.
I like the story. The story was fun until they killed off what's his face.
Damien. Is it Damien? Or
no,
Damon?
that wasn't Damien.
Damon?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Exactly, because it didn't matter that much.
But it was fun watching him go in and then go be his heritage and things like in the Animus. Like, that was cool in the interaction. Even the second one where like he voluntarily came back in to try, like, that to me, like the story was good. I don't even know what the fucking story existed anymore.
I thought Altair was a good character and riding the horse and doing all that was cool in the first one. But after that, it was just like, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
I didn't really care very much.
I don't blame you, because again, the gameplay didn't do enough to keep me there.
Yeah. But Ubisoft is dying.
Thank God.
Wicked Witch is dead or dying still. Either way.
And here's the funny thing is, Tencent's going to come in with this subsidiary and they're just going to make good games. Because they're going to want Americans to fucking pay them a shit ton of money.
Yep.
So they're going to sit there and go, okay, what do American men like?
Yep.
They like big boobs, big thighs, and some butt. Let's give them some big boob, big thighs, and some butt with decent action. Oh, and they also like dudes that are ripped like fucking Spartans, ripping things in half.
Mm-hmm.
Like, guys like to look at dudes that they want to be like. Yep. We all want to be massive and ripped. So that's why we love God of War, right? Kratos is just a fucking
Space Marine 2
dog. Space Marine 2. And then we want to just look at hot chicks.
I never played that game. I want to play it.
And we just want to look at hot chicks, even if they're pixelized. That's all we fucking want. We're not difficult beasts. We really aren't. It's not difficult. We don't want to look at fucking short-haired, pixie, blue-haired things fucking telling us that men suck.
Yeah.
And if we do, that character wants to exist. We want to see them eventually murdered in game. I'm just kidding.
But we're going to move on from that. There's something real quick. I saw this and I thought it was very cute.
This is adorable.
Tekken player came to a tournament with his dog strapped to his back. Cutest Tekken coach ever. We don't have to watch the whole thing. I just want to see
the dog. It's only 49 seconds. That's okay.
As well.
Oh
my God, the Shibu!
I didn't hear it with the audio.
Unfair advantage. We got one coach on sight.
I hope that dude won.
Data.
He's
and
awesome.
Another coach on smell data.
Oh man. Okay, so
and he's a
that's
good
my homie.
boy.
I
He
got
gets
Jet.
a treat.
He plays Leroy, and that's also Danny Boy, who plays King still. Or I think he's still playing the King. Yeah, that's what he told me.
You're telling me that the dog.
Did you see DeBio's comment underneath? Imagine losing a match and the dog is staring at you like.
Jet does bring the dog a lot of the times.
And so does Leroy.
Yes, he does.
That's incredible. I'm not gonna lie.
But okay, so if I'm Danny told me he still
kudos
plays King
to
a little bit, but he's
whoever
also played a little
organizes
bit
these
of
tournaments that
Oscar
isn't
now
saying
as
no.
well.
That's allowing him to bring a cute dog. As long as the dog acts right,
Yeah.
and who gives a fuck? Let the dog come grow out.
Double
That's adorable.
triple
Not gonna
mating
lie.
characters, or are you more?
That to me is one of the best intimidation tactics I've ever seen.
Yeah,
It's not
I'm just
necessarily
holding the dog. It doesn't even matter to me.
it's not intimidating. It's just like that thing's fucking adorable. How am I supposed
Yeah.
to focus on kicking this dude's ass when he brought that
Just
cute
want to
ass
pet it.
dog? Yeah. Dude, win, lose, or draw, I'd pet your dog. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if you bring in a cute dog, I'm gonna be like, bro, can I pet your dog?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
All right.
and to be quite honest, whatever team he bats for, he's definitely getting someone to come home if he's not married. Because dogs are gateways. Dogs and little kids, gateways.
you might want to rephrase that, but we're gonna move on.
Oh
to
no!
the last
Oh no!
thing.
Oh,
Yeah, we're gonna
quickly
move on.
speaking of that, I don't know if he's out yet, but our boy Alex Rosen,
He's
pedophile
out.
approach, he's
out.
out.
He's out. He's out.
The
I
fact
saw
that
it
he
on
went,
Twitter. He's out.
the fact that he went to jail in Missouri, like we don't have
Yeah.
to cover that, but like Alex, keep fucking doing your thing, fucking assholes, locking him up.
But we're gonna move on. Avengers Doomsday decided to do this promotion.
Which is terrible. A terrible
This
fucking-
it was a
promotion.
5-hour live stream. Out.
I know. So it's funny. I was watching. We're gonna watch this, but Epic Mike did this, and I watched him break it down and talk about it. And I just know the Epicverse needs to do a 10-hour live stream where they then, when their first movie, we do a 10-hour where they just introduce their lead characters in some way after 10 hours.
Oh Jesus!
That's what I think they need a 10-hour stream for the Epicverse.
All right. Here, this is consolidated down to 1 minute and 43 seconds, which they could have done themselves.
And I want to stress, y'all, they made people wait 5 hours for this.
5 hours for all the reveals of, and apparently this is not everyone that's going to be in Avengers Doomsday, but we'll just play this. And
They
look
have
at
to say because of all the fucking criticism they've gotten so far.
Yep.
So let's go over it. So I don't know if you want to go over it slow, if you want to like make it turn the volume off, make it go slower so we can look because it does pan.
I was gonna say I did turn the volume off, but
I mean, but if you want to make it go slower so we can kind of like read it better.
You can do that. 75 should be fine.
Yeah, let's see. Okay. So we got Chris Hemsworth, obviously Thor.
Vanessa Kirby. Who the fuck does Vanessa Kirby play? I can't remember. Anthony Mackie, Captain America.
Blackton America.
That's Captain America. Sebastian
Stan, the real Captain America. That should have taken over. Letitia Wright.
I can't remember who she played.
God, we suck. Paul Rudd, man.
I checked out of Marvel a while ago.
Me too.
Wyatt Russell. I don't know who the fuck that is. Maybe I do.
If we see them, right?
I don't know who that is either.
I don't know who half these people are.
You
There's
know
a graphic
really
somewhere that
funny?
like connects them all.
Simu Liu, Shang-Chi. You know it's also really funny. The Blade movie is apparently canceled.
Which sucks.
Florence
Pugh, fucking winner.
Can't remember what her
Scarlet
name is.
Witch, bitch, not Scarlet Witch. Black Widow.
Louis Pullman, Danny Ramirez,
which is the new Falcon, I think.
Joseph Quinn, yeah. David Harbour, who was Red Guardian.
Yeah.
Winston Duke, who is why am I forgetting his name? Black Panther.
These people.
Hannah John Kamen, Tom Hiddleston, good old
Loki, which he's done making love to his own female version.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart. So we're seeing Xavier again.
Ian McKellen. I wonder how quickly they're going to kill them this time.
Yep. Alan Cumming. Rebecca Romaine.
Rebecca Romaine Stamos, you asshole.
Dromgen. James Marsden. Channing Tatum.
Bringing back his terrible Gambit, which is awful. It was so bad. Pedro Pascal just needs to go away all the time. And oh my God, it's Robert Downey Jr. Which, hold on, Dave. You got this version? Hold on. In the real version, he walks.
Oh, he walks down?
So in the real version, he's not sitting there. So you got a different version here.
Yeah.
In the real version, you see the chair and it stops at Pedro Pascal and the door opens and he walks into view. And as he's getting closer, it pans back and he sits down in his chair.
No, I didn't know that was a version. I've only seen this version. He tells you to be quiet and he walks away.
Oh, so also, did you see there's a shit ton of criticism because people are like, they're whitewashing Doctor Doom.
What?
Yeah. People are claiming that Doctor Doom wasn't a white guy.
I mean, he's from a different, like...
He's Eastern European, y'all. He's Eastern European.
he's like in an essence, I guess, not incredibly like, but like it's the weirdest fucking hairs to
He's
pull
from
on that one.
Latveria, which
Yeah,
is
like
a
it's not.
fake place,
Yeah,
but it's like between like Romania and some of those other places. So,
plus also I think they're running a Tony Stark Doctor Doom angle, which I think was also in
which
the
is
comics.
comic book canon. That happened where Tony dies and comes back as Doom.
I don't like it.
It's stupid. It's stupid because if that is the case, you take away all the powers of Doom.
I think that's what they're running with. So if they're running with that, then even the whitewashing argument doesn't.
It makes it's stupid. But even then, I've never seen Doctor Doom not portrayed as a fair skinned guy.
Yeah,
Ever in my existence.
Yeah.
I've never seen him portrayed as anything else. But maybe you can. There have been some versions that have given him more almond shaped eyes because that is part of that region.
Yeah.
But there's no one was mad at the guy from Nip Tuck when he was fucking Doom, and I thought he was a great Victor Von Doom in the original Fantastic Four.
He's an alright Victor Von Doom, but
what did you say?
He's an alright Victor Von Doom.
I thought he was fine as Victor Von.
I don't know if I love him.
I thought in terms of the first Fantastic Four, the casting wasn't bad. I actually thought out of all the Fantastic Fours we've gotten, that's been the best groups. The best group so far.
The casting wasn't bad.
And Jessica Alba was in it, so it's always good.
Jessica Alba was good casting because she's Jessica Alba. I don't know if she's Invisible
and she's wearing
Woman.
tights.
I don't know if she's an Invisible Woman, but she is Jessica Alba, so you kind of overlook that.
So now you can make Sydney Sweeney invisible. I'm just gonna make Sydney Sweeney every fucking woman.
Yeah, apparently everything.
That's fine.
But yeah, no, just a huge cast again. A huge cast of names that a lot of people are going to know a good amount of those names, and they're going to know the characters that are going to be in it. But what's going to happen? Am I even going to care? Am I even going to watch it?
Here's the thing: no Spidey.
I don't know.
No Spidey.
Well, we don't know yet, right?
Well,
it could be more.
Based on this, no Spidey. Based on this, no Captain Marvel, which is fucking hilarious. Yeah. So you don't have any of those. Who else? It's missing. It's no Blade. Right? Blade's not in this. And he was in, no Deadpool. You're not getting Deadpool.
Yeah, you're not going to put
people. I think people thought they might bring him in some way.
I would not put Deadpool in this.
But it's like there's a lot. But they bring back James Marsden, so Cyclops is going to be in this. The original Cyclops from the original X-Men. It's a weird grouping. It is. It is a weird grouping of individuals because obviously Marvel paid some money to Sony to get some rights again, right? You got the original X-Men rights. Because also the original Beast is in there as well. So it's gonna suck, guys. I hate to break it to you. This is gonna be a fucking terrible movie. This is gonna be a terrible movie.
Honestly, with the amount of people in this movie, it might be 3 hours. This might be a 3-hour movie.
The issue with this movie is it's gonna be so disjointed. It's going to be whose dick got measured here and who got put there. We're not going to see a fluent storyline like we have with the original Avengers, where they put the title of Marvel and the characters before the people in there, right?
Yeah.
This is about Anthony Mackie and Pedro Pascal and RDJ and all of them getting their screen time. This is not going to be about telling a Marvel comic book story, even if they are loosely adapting it from a storyline, which is what we have seen. They're not adapting comic books anymore. They're not giving comic book characters a real version of themselves.
Yeah.
They are just giving you Anthony Mackie cosplaying as Captain America. They're giving you people and there's going to be, I think Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen's going to do a great job. They're just good actors. Robert Downey's going to do a great job. He's a great actor, right? You're going to have people that are Alan Cumming's going to do a good job. Like you're going to have people that do good jobs, but I ultimately think the story is going to be fucking trash. I can't see any way they're making this good.
Yeah, I have no expectations for it right now. So really what matters, and if I have any expectations for it, is if Fantastic Four is actually good. If Fantastic Four ends up being a good movie, which I don't expect, but if Fantastic Four ends up being a good movie, then I'm like, okay, maybe there is some hope for Doomsday. But for right now, I'm just like, well, they're just lining it up. They're stuffing it with stars just to get people in the seats, just to get them to come and watch it. And hopefully it will be decent enough that it doesn't drive people away off word of mouth. I think that's the way they're trying to move this.
And Fantastic Four has to be good for this to be good, because obviously if you're bringing Doom as the big bad, Fantastic Four is the center of it. That's their villain. right?
Yep.
Like the Avengers obviously are gonna be involved because Fantastic Four was also known as a group that did bring a lot of people involved because
Mhm.
the people that Fantastic Four fought were universe ending, galaxy ending, right? Reed Richards is next level, and I
Yeah.
saw that they greenlit Doctor Strange 3 as well.
I didn't even see that.
They greenlit Doctor Strange 3, so we
Which
get
is
to watch him be cast aside again, but he's also not in this so far.
That is true. He's not in this. So I don't like.
I think someone's playing Namor. One of those guys is playing Namor as well. Namer's in this
Why would Namor be in it?
because
I just don't see why
Avengers.
Namor would be in it.
He should have been in from the get go, but
Just don't want to- either way, it's
I could see the dynamic with Latvia being its own country, and not Latvia, Latveria,
yeah.
and obviously Atlantis doing its own thing. Maybe like the country dynamic because you have Wakanda now already introduced. So the dynamic of the water not giving a fuck because Namor doesn't care.
Yeah.
The Submariner does not, unless it's going to affect them. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
That's always been my favorite part about him.
I don't know. I do
It's gonna
not.
be bad.
Yeah. I just don't see much going on for this movie. I just think they stuffed it full of stars. They stuffed it full of names. That's why they showed the empty seats instead of
Member
really
berries.
anything that could actually spark some kind of influence and what the story is going to be like. And I mean, we'll see off the trailers. I forgot actually. We're getting Thunderbolts
Yep, soon.
before Fantastic Four. I forgot
Yep.
Thunderbolts was coming out.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll even see how that goes, which I don't think it'll go well because they have a bunch of weirdos fighting Sentry, and Sentry should just kill them all, but he won't.
And here's the thing as well. If we're being quite fucking honest with ourselves about all of this stuff,
Mhm.
once these motherfuckers start opening up their mouths and doing interviews, when you see some of them, once Anthony Mackie starts really talking again, once Pedro Pascal, once Florence Pugh, once all these people start fucking opening up their mouths, it's going to bring it down even more because they still can't help themselves. Because we're going to hear about how, oh, this is the greatest one ever because I made sure that I didn't see this movie or I didn't read anything about. I know
Yeah.
that there is a actual comic book adaptation.
I
but
know nothing
I'm
about the
making
thing
it
I'm
my
adapting.
own. Like, yeah. So it's like, that's the only person that's gonna be like, I read it front to back, and he's gonna do an awful job is Channing Tatum as Gambit. Like, he's the only one because he actually loves
Ooh, I'm about
Gambit.
to make a name for myself over here.
He loves Gambit. He loves Gambit. I know he does. But he did a
He's been
terrible
wanting
job.
to be Gambit
But
for
he
a
did
long
it.
time.
Dude, his Louisiana accent might be the Gambit from
So-
fucking X-Men. Wolverine Origins was so much better.
So the cope argument here from me is that it was meant to be a parody of Gambit, a funny way of doing it in Deadpool and Wolverine. Because remember, he's like a thrown away character in that. So like that's why it's so bad. Like I said, it's a cope argument.
You got
but,
some copium going on here, man.
but that's why it's so bad.
You've got some real copium going on here,
Him
man.
saying I'm about to make a name for myself here is fucking funny though.
I mean, you got some. So hold on, I'm pulling up this graphic right here. Let me see if I can make it better and
Whatever
more
you're pulling up.
readable.
Either way, like I don't
Hold
know.
on, we're going back to this screen. Let me.
I
pull it
just don't know if they're gonna do well with the Tony Stark as Doctor Doom kind of.
So let me see. Can you can't read this yet, can you?
I can kind of read it.
Okay, let me see. I'll make it bigger. So we'll scroll through this real quick. So these are all the people, so we can kind of remember who they are.
Yep.
So
forgot.
Hemsworth, Thor, Kirby's Invisible Woman,
Yep.
Mackie's Captain Black America, Florence Pugh is Black Widow
What's her
chick.
name? What the fuck is her name? She
Which
has a
one?
specific name.
I don't give a fuck. She's Black Widow chick.
It's just bothering me that I can't remember.
Kelsey Grammer is back. I didn't realize Kelsey Grammer was back as the B-side. I didn't see his name on there.
Yeah. Well,
Louis
right.
Pullman. I still don't know who the fuck that is. Oh, Shang is he? No, and Danny Ramirez. That's the new Falcon.
Yep.
Quinn is I know that fucking guy. I can't remember his face. Letitia Wright is
New Black
Wakanda,
Panther.
New Black Panther.
Yep.
Sebastian Stan should be
Bucko.
Captain America.
Bucko.
Simu Liu, obviously over as
Shang-Chi.
Iron Fist. That's the
Iron. He's Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, same thing. They both suck. Even Moss Baccara is the Thing.
Okay.
Tan Al-Qurda is Namor right there. Wyatt Russell is the new hero that was in
Why am I forgetting his name? He was in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
he was Cap.
He took
for
over
that
as the new
time.
Cap. Yeah,
Yeah.
Paul right over there. This isn't
John
all
Rogers?
the names. Huh?
Was it John Rogers?
I think so. This isn't all the names that were there, but these are some of the main people.
All right,
And
obviously.
I just liked putting. Did I miss some down here? I did. Okay,
Yeah.
here we go. These are more of them. So David Harbour is
Right.
the communist guy. Winston Duke is the rival in Wakanda, right?
Starts with an M.
Yeah. Hannah John Kim. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Is that the one that's playing Taskmaster?
Oh, maybe. Tom Hiddleston, obviously. Patrick Stewart, obviously. Channing Tatum, James Marsden there, Rebecca Romaine, Alan Cumming. I forgot Nightcrawler. There you go. Ian McClellan, which Nightcrawler is going to be fucking. They're going to do something and talk about how much of a flamer he is. That's all they're going to do with Nightcrawler. They're bringing him there to make him really gay. That's all I know. Pedro Pascal being in there, RDJ. So we attach the characters and names to the faces here. Figured we'd do that with this. But yeah, it's gonna be fucking bad, man.
No, yeah, it's not going to be any good. Like I said, if Fantastic Four is actually good, then I can give. Well, okay, maybe there's a chance. Right now, I don't see much of a chance. It's a big
I don't
old
know
cash
enough
grab.
about Fantastic Four to know if it's going to be any good. I really don't.
They really haven't put out that much. There's not a lot about what the story is going to be, other than Fantastic Four.
How are they going to be there? Isn't it the Fantastic Four set like 60 years ago? And then they're going to come into modern time? How the fuck are they going to be there?
I think it might be a different timeline.
Everything's a different fucking timeline, man.
But I
Like,
think
it's so dumb.
it actually is a different timeline for Fantastic Four, but I'm not certain. Either way, Marvel made big news off of that. People are memeing it, and not in the greatest way, to be quite honest with you. I think a lot of people don't have
As it
expectations for
deserves.
this movie. But we'll see what happens with it.
That's yeah. I got no faith. And it sucks too. Like it will always pain me at this point
Mhm.
to sit there, and it wasn't that long ago. Like I still have not seen Deadpool and Wolverine, David.
Really?
I have no interest, even though I heard it was good. None of it interests me. Now that I found out that Ryan Reynolds is a fucking prick too, like I don't care. I don't want to give him money.
The guy that played Van Wilder is not like he was
played
always going to be a
somebody.
prick. Look at him.
He played somebody.
No, but look at him.
I mean,
Physiognomy checks out a lot of times, dude.
I
Look at
didn't
him.
think he'd be that big of a piece of shit. I don't know. Like now it's like I kind of don't want to give him any more views or any more money because what he's doing to Justin Baldini's fucking terrible.
I don't know, Doug. Honestly, if Justin Baldini is nice pool, I think he does kind of deserve to get bullied. I'm sorry.
Maybe I don't know, but no, I don't. Oh, we didn't cover this, Dave. We didn't cover this, and I don't know if you want to real quick. Did you see that fucking apparently Parrot Surveys did a survey, and the Acolyte season 2 is something that everybody wants right now?
Oh yeah. Well, no, it's because everyone does want it. Look, if you're gonna ask YouTubers if they want Acolyte season 2, I think 90% of them would say yes. 100% yes, because it's a goddamn payday for them. I don't blame them at all. I would say, please give me Acolyte season 2. That's what I need.
I mean, I saw that and I was like, who? Who the fuck is asking?
I'm telling you, they just polled a bunch of YouTubers that talk about entertainment, and they all said, yes, Acolyte season 2 needs to happen.
Well, I mean, it would make a lot of money for them, right? Because they'd have more to meme. As long as I'm getting more fire in space, I'm here.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying.
And I hope that it is an all-female crew. I don't think I don't want a single male doing anything. Not camera, not all women. Make it all women, and even make the dudes in there as well. Make it all fucking trans guys. Like I don't care. Make it all, even the guys. Make them trans girls. I want it to be an all female everything, and then I want it to be super successful.
I think they were kind of close to that.
Just meme success.
The first season, but yeah, no. I want a second season because I want to see what they come up with. To be completely honest,
and I'm not gonna lie, part of me feels real bad for Andor. Because apparently Andor season 2 is going to be good. Because season 1 apparently was pretty damn good. And it's like,
some people
Andor doesn't deserve this. Andor, like, it sucks that they've tarnished the name so bad that when they had, like, again, I heard Skeleton Crew wasn't awful.
You know what? I'm gonna say Andor deserves it because it's a prequel to a character no one fucking cares about. That's what it is. I'm gonna say it deserves it because it's that. Because it never had any reason to be a thing in the first place. And if that's gonna be your only good thing,
You
perish.
deserve the failure.
Yes.
Kathleen Kennedy can't leave soon enough. And you know what, though? Honestly, doesn't matter if she leaves. Because some other shill's going to take over. It's not like they're going to put a fucking nerd there that's going to actually care.
Yep.
They're still going to do some dumb shit. They're still going to go ahead with the stupid Ray trilogy. They're still going to do all this dumb shit that nobody cares about. And Mark Hamill is still going to sit there and hope that Joe Biden gets back in office so he can go to the White House somewhere. What a fucking loser that guy has become. Oh, my God. Anyway, Dave, do you have anything else?
No, that's it for tonight.
I think we're done. We're done ranting and raving.
Yep.
We have some interesting thing going on. I'm excited to continue to look at what Zelda has in store. I think that's one of the things we're going to be able to follow big time.
Genuinely interested in what they're going to do with that. Genuinely interested.
And like G said, I think we're going to follow more of like the Odyssey. Like with the movie front, where there's a lot to follow right now. There's a lot to look at and to kind of see what's going on. It's funny, we've been delving into movies a lot more.
Yeah. We did have Blaine on and everything.
With Blaine on, and we had James Carrick on, and we've had Odin on, and so I like that direction. I don't mind. I don't want to become a movie podcast, but I do. And with our guest coming up this week, we're right back into gaming. So I'm enjoying it. We're kind of blending all of our shit.
Yeah, it's a great
arrows on our logo have a meaning, everybody. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. We're getting out of here. As always, thanks for wherever you watch from, any of the sources. Please like, share, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff on podcasting form. If you are listening to this, hello, and we appreciate you. 5 stars is the right thing to do. Leave a comment, and we'll be back maybe one other time this week. I might be solo. David's probably working.
Yes.
But then this Wednesday, Dave will be back for our guest. So I'm excited that we'll be here and we're gonna have some fun. So everybody, thank you so much.